Hello, and welcome to From Garden to Plate. I am Alice Erickson, the creator of this channel on YouTube. Throughout the content of this channel, I will be going over my tricks and tips that are proven to give you an amazing yield to the garden, and how to take a preserved item from the bounty of the harvest and put it in everyday delicious meals. Occasionally, I will also do a tutorial to show you how to preserve food, like such as spices and sauces. If that interests you, please like and subscribe. In today's episode, I'm going to be teaching you how to get your tomato plant started off the best in the garden and what acclimating your plants is. The thing that I'm making is a seasoning by using the bounty of the harvest, some dried chipoltes and smoked and dried bell pepper, and making pork carnitas seasoning. It is incredibly important to acclimate your nursery plants if you kept them inside for a couple of weeks, because you wanted to get those first picks, remember? Yeah, Mother's Day was insane. I'm glad I didn't go to the nursery that day, and I was early and I got what I wanted. But I have them all here and they've been cozy inside, and they gotta adjust to wind, sunlight, temperature difference. So I'm on day 4, and every day what I do is I take them out, place them in the sun. Increments of sun increase every day. So yesterday they had about 4 to 5 hours of sun. Today I'll let them have more than that, and I'll leave them at overnight. That way when I go and plant it, is adjusted to everything that has changed, and I won't get as big of a shock. Hello there, it is planting day, which I'm excited. I got everything out and ready to go. I have eggshells that were dried out. I crushed into a powder. You don't want to leave them bigger than that because the calcium will take forever to break down and it won't do anything for your plant. So if it's into a powder form, it'll go down a lot faster and microorganisms will take care of it, and your tomatoes will have the calcium as well. I'm going to show you it up close and how to properly plant a tomato. Gently squeeze your pot, grab the stem but don't pull from it. And let gravity do most of the work, and it'll slide right out, just like that. Gently take your roots, loosen them up a little bit. I'm more doing a vibration tap. That way it's super gentle on the tomato. Okay, I'm going to put my eggshells in. I want the stem to be closer to the water source. So that's good. I'm going to go a little bit deeper, because if you look up close, there's these tiny hairs. Those are potential roots. And like I said earlier, the deeper you can put them, the better chance the plant has for better growth and getting nutrients from the soil. So I'll get those hairs in there. I'm about as close as I want to the water source. Pat down the soil nice and smooth. I am going to be putting a marigold right near the tomato and the water source. Gently loosen. Okay, I think right here would be a fantastic spot. I'm going to be going over in a future video why marigolds are great as companion plants. And there you have it. A tomato that's perfectly planted and ready to rock. All done for the day. There's plenty more to plant, but that's for a future day. I got everything that I took care of acclimating, 4 days worth. And now I'm watering and I mulched where I have planted. And by the way, if I forgot to tell you, the mulch is incredibly important to protect the microorganisms as well, so they don't get sunburnt, and it protects all the nutrients that's in the soil. So very important to use that. How to make spicy pork carnitas seasoning from the bounty of your harvest, which is the chipoltes and bell peppers. What I do is I take the bell peppers, clean out the inner parts, slice them in half, throw them in the smoker. I usually like to use the mesquite, I've noticed, or a different hardwood, that gets the most penetration of smoke for me. And then I will also take the chipotle, which is a ripe jalapeno, smoke that as well in whole, and then dry it, because I want those seeds. It makes that spicy, which is what I want. So I will be posting what my recipe is here in just a moment, but I wanted to go over a few items and why they're important and why you want to use it. Himalayan pink salt is second to Celtic salt when it comes to mineral content, and it has less sodium, so therefore it is healthy for you. But those minerals taste good, so why not put it in your seasoning, right? The other important part is my twist on this recipe is my coriander seeds. What that is cilantro. Once it grows and the flower is done, they make seeds. You dry them, grind them. It has a nice citrus note, which is what you want in a carnita seasoning. So I'm going to give you a close-up of everything I used and how to proportion it and get it going and get it a grind so you can see the texture as well. Let's get to it. Wanted to give you a pro tip. I line everything up in the way I use it, so therefore I know how to keep an order with my measurements as well, and then I just slide it out of my way because I knew I used it to keep myself straight on the recipe. So let's get to it. I suggested that you take the peppers first and break them apart and throw them into your grinder. These are those chipoltes that I dried. Wear gloves, unless you like having your fingertips burned. Want to keep those seeds, that brings the heat. Yeah. I got a nice big grinder here, so I can put all of them in there. Yeah. Right, I'm going to process that and show you the texture here in just a moment. You want to get it to a breadcrumb, and the reason that is important is because if you go all the way to a powder right now, when you try to blend it with everything else, it might be overly processed and you won't get your flavor impact. Here is that nice breadcrumb texture I was talking about. Oh, if only you could smell. This is so smoky, yummy, delicious smelling. So what you do now is you add the rest of the seasonings into there. First one is the garlic powder at 2 tablespoons. How I figure out seasonings and how to make it is what I want to become the most forward. Garlic is an amazing seasoning, pretty much goes in everything. So that's why it is a higher proportion than other seasonings. Peppers, since it's the bounty of the harvest, I wanted to be forward as well. That's why I used as many as I did. Next is going to be cumin. And that is a measurement of 2 tablespoons as well. Cumin is very important in this too. It rounds it off, makes a nice boldness outside of citrus notes and all of the peppers. Just need this to comply with me here. There we go. Mesquite is another smoky element to it, but I only have 2 teaspoons. That important salt. don't want it to be overly salty, so I'm only using 1 tablespoon. But salt's important because it brings everything together. You can really taste that flavor impact. That is only going to be 1. The black peppercorns, I do them in whole. I only wanted a teaspoon of that. So there you go. Onion powder, I wanted it to be bold, so therefore I went with 2 tablespoons. Oh. Seasonings do get, that are natural, will get stuck. They don't have that caking stuff, anti-caking, which is filler things that are not natural. So that's as expected. Bear with me here. Really? Come on, Bubba. Get there. Okay, there's 2. Close enough. Lemon peel. You want a good citrus note, but I don't want it to be too forward, so that's why I only went with 1 tablespoon. There we go. I'm going to take all of that and I'm going to make it into a nice powder. And I'll show you the texture here in just a moment. Oopsie, forgot to add the coriander. It's at 1 teaspoon. I'm going to do this again, just a moment. And there we have it. The magic has happened. We have a seasoning that's homemade. Why it's better than the store-bought fully is because you made it. That's right. And it's going to be more fresh and more smoky at this level. That's what's awesome. Just a quick note, use a non-BPA bag for your dried items and a food-grade desiccant. Make sure you got no moisture. I got it ready here to go in the jar. So I have my funnel here. I have a jar that I repurposed and reused. I cleaned it out and now it's ready for the one that I made. So you just take your seasoning, pour it right on top. It's a nice big funnel, so it'll take all of that. Bottom of the funnel is a little small, so what I do is a kebab skewer. Do what you gotta do, right? And it comes right through like nothing. Yeah, I probably could fill 2 jars with this amount, which is awesome because I'm going to be using this for recipes like making beans from a slow cooker, using this seasoning and the juice that I made with carnitas for pulled pork. Oh yeah, you save your broths. It really makes an impact in your food. And I will be doing an awesome marinade here soon, and I will show you how to do it using this seasoning and fresh juices to make a carnitas. I wanted to thank you today for watching. Hope to see you soon. Take care.